Namaste. This is Achla Bhupendra, Vice President of WICCI NRI Council, Director of Sustainable Future Foundation, and Vice President of Bharati Bhasha Samadhi Sansthan. Would like to wish Happy International Women's Day to all my beautiful sisters present here on this wonderful platform, and also to those who all are listening us live. Today, we are hosting on the stage some of the best speakers to share their views on the topic Women Leadership at the DigitALL A Path Forward. This event is organized in association with Sustainable Future Foundation and Srishti Bharat. On behalf of WICCI NRI Council, would like to welcome Anita from Mexico as a keynote speaker, Shweta Srivastav from Nigeria, Padmaja Ji from Singapore, Sushmita Kumar and Shifali Garg from Dubai, Shalini Verma from Doha, and Kirtida Gandhi Shah from Australia. They all will be part of this evening panel. I would also like to welcome the lady of the show, Ms. Shreen Likhani from Australia, to host this perfect show. WICCI NRI Council is India's first international business chamber for women, empowering women entrepreneurs and leaders across India and globally who wish to engage with India. WICCI NRI Council is working on social front from more than last 3 years by focusing specifically for women's related issue. And in the series today, we are here to celebrate International Women's Day 2023, our own day. The theme of this International Women's Day is Embrace Equity. It is said that a new kind of poverty now confronts the world, one that excludes women and girls in devastating ways, that of digital poverty. So, on the same note, let's listen the views from different women who work in various fields and find out that in what sense digitalization has affected women's life and why we are still lacking somewhere in our day-to-day work. So let's start this show. Let me take a pride to invite Ms. Shreen Likhani on this stage. Shreen Lakhani, she's a strong lady from Australia, MSR Care, and she's a founder of MSR Care and YS Cleaning Services. She is also president of National Council Women Association in Sydney from last 3 years. Member, family member and member of WICCI NRI Council from last 3 years. She have been bestowed with the title of Mother last year and also been awarded Woman Iconic Dynamic Entrepreneur Gallantry Award, Iron Lady of India 2022 for the work towards the uplifting of women and also working with women facing domestic violence. And the biggest thing is that she has been a fighter to cancer for the last 7 years and still fighting and inspiring others to live their life to fullest. So let's call on the stage Shreenji to rock the show again. Just a minute. I think she has lost. Okay, we have got her back. Ah, Shreenji, you're most welcome. Can you hear us? And
Yes, I can. I don't know how I just.
no issue, no issue. Please start.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, a very good evening to all of you from Australia. I know we are all here today in different time zones, and I welcome all of you to today's International Women's Day webinar, which we are having. And I understand that everyone who's watching us from different where it could be night, it could be morning. So I really welcome you all today to the International Women's Day. Thank you, Achla ji, for a very great introduction. I really thank each one of you for letting me host this show today and be a part of this. And I would like to say a few things which I actually was thinking about this morning. So, as we all know, that today's theme is Embrace the Equality, which is a part of an ongoing effort to raise awareness around, and where we say why equal opportunities are no longer enough. Today is the time to highlight achievements made by women, but also an opportunity to become better informed and collaborate and brainstorm about the path forward. So, without me taking more time forward, let me welcome our keynote speaker for the evening, Anita. Anita, she is a Mexican economist and holds a master degree in project management from the University of International Cooperation in Costa Rica. diplomas in competitive business. So we have a lot more to know about Anita. Just bear with me for a minute. My system's running a bit slow, but I really welcome you on the stage, Anita. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Shireen. Thank you to all of you. It is an honor to be part of this incredible panel today and commemorate past March 8th worldwide and the importance of working to close the gaps daily. Here are my comments, my reflections on the topic of this commemoration this year. First of all, I would like to introduce some ideas about the slogan DigitALL. That is an initiative that is the theme for International Women's Days 2023, focusing on innovation and technology for gender equality. The initiative aims to empower women through technology and eliminate the digital gender divide. It calls on all sectors to eliminate gaps that prevent women from accessing technology and from promoting the use of technology to advance gender equality. Also, this initiative is known as the Secretary General's Roadmap for Digital Cooperation, Antonio Gutierrez, from United Nations. It is an initiative to advance a safer, more equitable digital world, and it seeks to achieve universal, secure, and inclusive access. Affordable access is important for most of the countries we live in, so the internet for all by 2030 is a very great goal. The Digital Initiative aims also promote the gender equality by addressing the digital gender divide and empowering women through technology, as I said before. So the industry in general, many industries recognize that digital transformation provides new avenues for women economic empowerment and can contribute to greater gender equality. It calls for initiatives that promote equitable and inclusive education systems that support all children and young people, including girls, to engage in technology. Digital technology also presents an opportunity to collect more data, which can be disaggregated by gender and used to advance gender equality. Ensuring that women and girls have equal access to technology is crucial for promoting gender equality. So, technology can be used to promote gender equality in the workplace by implementing methods such as using neutral language in job postings, conducting blind interviews, using panels instead of one on one interviews, and having defined criteria for hiring. The ownership and use of digital technologies have substantial potential for the economic empowerment of women and increasing gender equality. Um, also, most of the recognized, the most important and recognized best practices for innovators, designers, and implementers of digital products and services that benefit girls and young women comes from this area for this important discipline. Innovative strategies and best practices for harnessing the particular promise of technology to advance gender equality are highlighted in many reports. Digital technology can narrow gender gaps by enhancing access to information, mainly education, and employment opportunities from my consideration. Uh, in Mexico, what can be the most important topic reviewing uh, the digital inclusion. Well, the United Nations in Mexico is urging the elimination of gaps that prevent women and girls from fully accessing the digital age. In Mexico, 63% of women who use the internet have reported experience some form of violence online. So the mobile industry has also collaborated to close the digital gender gap in Mexico. Also, the country has taken significant steps to promote equality and close gender gaps, including introducing gender quotas in the legislature, in the Congress. There are various ways that digital technology can be used to close the gaps in gender equity, such as providing access to education and training programs, promoting entrepreneurship. Basically, is one of my main ways to contribute in this matter, and creating safe online spaces for women and girls. In Mexico, also, the gender equity in the digital technology industry is still a concern. Inequalities in technology have a disproportionate impact of women. 1 in 3 women in Latin America still needs to have her income, and women's presence in the current digital economy is low. Only 47% of Mexican women are in the workforce. However, Mexico has taken, of course, uh, interesting actions regarding the participation of women in public life. It is essential to contribute working towards closing the gender gap in the digital technology industry in my country by providing, of course, equal opportunities for education and training, promoting, still promoting, and very active promoting the entrepreneurship mindset among women, and creating safe online spaces for them. Thank you so much for your kind attention, and it's a pleasure to join this fantastic event.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
Anita.
much, Anita.
Yes.
It was so great to know what exactly and how exactly the digital transformation is happening. And also, it was great of a knowledge to know how Mexico is developing in basically getting the woman into workforce. So that's great to know. Thank you so much. Now, let's keep moving and let's listen to our next speaker. Can I have Shweta Srivastav for our next speaker? And let's listen some more things about Shweta. As we all know Shweta for a very long time now, she has been our speaker for most of our webinars. She is an executive director and co-founder of Teleneoteca Limited, a telecom solution company operating across several countries in Pan Africa. Shweta, as a management professional, is also known for her strong networking and team management skills. Shweta is alumni of the Logos Business School, Nigeria, and she's a postgraduate in environmental studies from Delhi University. She has been part of several community projects on women's health, youth empowerment, vocational training, environmental sustainability, and we know more about her. And let's listen more about this topic from her. So, Shweta, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Shireen, for a wonderful introduction. Glad to be a part of the WICCI family. Good evening, everyone, for all the people joining from different time zones. I'm sorry, my throat is a little bad, so pardon if there is any interruption because of that. So today is not the International Women's Day, but it's the International Women Week, still ongoing, and I congratulate all the speakers here to be here celebrating this event together, bringing a sort of sensitization in the world, a much needed sensitization towards the issues of gender inequality. And through my small presentation today, I would like to highlight the issue why the digitalization is creating more disparity, more inequality, and what are the measures we can take to parish this problem. Requesting to show my presentation, please. So this year's theme for International Women's Day serves as an important reminder of the immense potential that digital transformation hold for accelerating gender equality and women's empowerment. Next slide, please. So what is the problem? Why the digital technology has become so predominant, and how it is creating a gender inequality? Through the COVID-19 pandemic, which has accelerated the global digital and data-driven transformation, with digital technologies now being leveraged for work, leisure, and learning, digital literacy has almost become as important as traditional literacy. As we now move towards the fourth industrial revolution, defined by the increasing use of the automation and the artificial intelligence, which is the AI, digital skills have now been as prized as ever. However, in many parts of the world, the digital revolution has left behind a critical part of society, that is our women and girls. I would like to mention a little story here that I just read in a newspaper, that a girl was beaten by her brother because she was using a mobile phone of her father, and he thought that she will dishonor the family by chatting with the boyfriend, while she should be in her in-laws house or with her husband. So the mindset of the people is a big problem, and the availability of the mobile phones and the internet to the women is even a bigger problem. So by improving connectivity, financial inclusion, access to trade public services, technology can be sure a great equalizer. But is it available to all? Digital technology presents an opportunity to narrow gender gaps by enhancing access to the welfare and financial services. UNICEF have reiterated that gender inequality in the physical world is unfortunately reflected in the digital world. With a staggering 50% of the world population still offline, the UN has called digital divide as the new face of inequality. And inequality in education is a significant contributor to the critical digital gender divide. This has left many unable to reap the benefits of digitalization. According to a survey on mobile gender gap done in 2020, women are less likely to have mobile phones and internet access. We all know about it. Especially rural women, compared to their urban counterparts, find themselves more disenfranchised from technology, limiting their access to information, digital services, and opportunities. And when women and girls are connected to the digital world, many find themselves exposed to cyber violence that deter them from digital participation in political, social, and cultural life. Next slide, please. So these are some of the opportunities and risks in the digital revolution, which is education, digital skill gap in the education sector, work, there is underrepresentation of women in technical fields, social and welfare services, the human rights of women are risked by the cybercrime and such things. So next slide, please. Women participation in the digital sphere is just not the matter of global equality, it is also a prerequisite for sustainable development. And as the world moves towards the vision 50-50, the vision cannot be achieved without women and girls playing active roles. As mentioned in the previous slide, a quote by our Mrs. Michelle Obama. Next slide, please. Sorry, the previous one. Next. A path forward. Yes, the next one, which reads the path forward, bridging the digital divide to drive gender parity. So Before I discuss this slide, I would like to discuss, 3 points which makes more impact on the equality of a woman in the society in the digital world. As a starting point, we must make greater and more sustained investment in increasing women and girls' digital literacy and familiarity with technology. This will enable them to participate effectively in the digital economy and gain access to digital services such as education, healthcare, and online banking. We must also promote women and girls in the ICT sector by developing their skills in areas such as coding, where they are still critically underrepresented. By enhancing the digital skills and presenting them with female role model, we can also increase the opportunity to pursue career in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which we call STEM. It's a field that reportedly 75% of jobs will relate to by 2050. So this will require concerted effort by the government, academia, civil society, and crucially the private sector. Critically, women also need to be involved in the creation of and decision making around digital technology. We must ensure that today's emerging data driven solutions do not perpetuate harmful gender stereotype and patterns of discrimination. Online content and technology need to be developed with and for women and girls in a way that responds to their specific needs and prioritize within a regulatory framework that protects and promote the human right of a woman and girl. Lastly, we must make online spaces safe for women and girls. Unfortunately, the cyber harassment and the violence against women, girls, and girls are often not taken very seriously, deterring them from using the internet and threatening them their online freedom of expression. We must tackle the harmful social norms at the root of their act of violence and set up legal and policy framework that educate and protect girls and women from cybercrime. Besides helping women and girls to recognize, report, and recover from online abuse, we must also intensify our civic education, work directly with the perpetrators, often boys and men, to uproot harmful social norms and power dynamics that underlie their actions. We need to work to reduce the adverse effects of the cyberbullying. The digital divide between the gender is not just a technological issue. And to address this, I have put 4 points here, which to me are the path forward. The partnerships are key to accelerate industry wide change. All the sectors are supposed to come together to train more girls, to give them the education they need, and remove the barriers to advancement of women and girls in innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. We should also build market awareness, investment, and industry wide actions to grow an innovation market that advances gender equality and empowerment of women and girls. Developing tools and methodologies with industry partners to take a gender responsive approach to innovations, promoting women as innovators and entrepreneurs, and investing in innovation and technology that meet the needs of the women. Next slide, please. So, as I was saying, that there are initiatives already going on, and I would like to mention a few. One from Africa, one from India. So, in Africa, the African Union Commission and International Telecommunication Unit together initiated the African Girls Can Code initiative, where they have so far trained 600 girls, which is a very good number for the girls to have the digital literacy. They also launched an e-learning platform and hosted several webinars to maintain the momentum of the learning. Similarly, we had the Bharat Ed initiative in the collaboration of 34 partners. They trained around 117,000 students, and out of 117,000, 46% were the girls. So we can take cues from the initiatives some of the organizations have taken and implement more such solutions to address the issue. Next slide, please. So as I was saying, that the digital divide is not only between the genders because of the technological issue. It is an economic, social, and cultural issue that needs to be addressed through multi-level and holistic policies. And digital age can help us bridge the gap of not only equality but equity around the gender. As the world is evolving to become more digital, we must ensure we can keep up the pace and unleash the potential of women and girls to become active agents of change in the transformation. Digital technology need to be used to accelerate progress on the sustainable development goal and gender equality. The success of world's accelerated journey towards digitalization is dependent heavily on the inclusion of the girls in its wake. Girls are not just the contributor to the economy, society, and community, but they are also the pillars of strength and stability in times of adversity. It is crucial that their rights, challenges, and potentials are given due consideration and investment to bridge the centuries old patriarchal chasm of unequal opportunities. A gender inclusive digital learning ecosystem can be a game changer that rewrites the history of the female population in our country and achieve a behavioral transformation. So, with this, I would conclude my address today, and I wish that we soon achieve the changes we want to see in the society through our actions. Thank you so much.
That was a power packed thing which we came to know. Thank you so much, Shweta. Really, really, it was great. And I would say we
Thank
in
you.
Australia have also started this initiative, and we are basically doing computer literacy classes for women who are undergoing domestic violence. So, till today, for the past 6 months, we've trained about 170 women who were under domestic violence.
Oh, that's great.
So, they're learning how to basically
Wonderful.
use the technology. So, it's great to know. Thank you
Exactly.
so much, Shweta. Really appreciate.
Thank you.
So let's keep the ball rolling and let me see who I pick the next. So, without going much into my details, let's call Padmaja ji on the call. Padmaja ji is a senior retail and textile professional having 26 years of experience in textile and retail world. She's one of the founder of the Shilp store and Aksha Asian Weaves, supporting and focusing on the sustainable fashion, handloom weaves, and women empowerment initiatives is the business that balances purpose and profit. So we knowing her as a big thing on the big women empowerment day today. Let's hear from her. Padmaja ji, this show is all yours. Padmaja ji, I think you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can all hear you. So we
Warm
welcome you once again, and now the stage is all yours.
thank you, everyone. Wishing you all a happy Women's Day on this week. We are celebrating Women's Day, and this is again a very good initiative by WICCI for bringing women across the world. I see everyone from different countries today participating in this show, and thank you, Achla, and the team of WICCI for bringing us all together under one roof called the Stream today. And let me tell you, as you have introduced me, Shireen, I am having 26 years of experience in retail world and also fashion world. We say that fashion world is very, very like it's one of the very fast and the very what we can say is it's considered to be very modernized, right? But yet I can tell you, even though we are all like everybody, we see every day, we see fashion shows, we see many women across the world doing wonders, and women as ramp models, but I still see there is so much of gap where women are not given a lot of chance to even go and represent. That's a very sad thing which I notice. Leave about digital involvement of women, or we have I have seen where Nari as a woman, she has the capacity of she can do multi tasking, and she can do many jobs, but yet if given a chance to her, she can be a great leader. She can train people, she can do many things. but yet there is so much of gap in this fashion world and retail world, where it is still a predominantly man's world and very less scope is given to women. But coming from fashion world, I also have been recently given a very good scope of like controlling uh, the very what you say, the diamond industry, where I am now heading the industry and managing about 50 men who work for me. And I am really, like, it's really honor when I was given a chance. Like, I was more into fashion world, but I was a bit skeptical about how do we I go about into a very man centric diamond industry. But I really sorry, can you all hear me? Hello.
Yes, please
Yes,
continue.
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
we
Okay.
can hear
So
you.
when I see and when I have given that task, I really took it as a challenge, and I have made it very. I have learned it overnight. I have learned about the four C's in diamond industry. It was like from starting from alphabets and learning more about this industry, where I really wanted to prove and learn and to be a leader, to address these men, and to give them, like, when the lady normally it at the retail world, when we see a lady is not like seen only as a lady, but they don't accept, or they don't see any, they don't even take any task when I assign them. They don't even they can't take it. But I have, with my efforts and all that, I have really made sure that at a basic level I'm reaching to the men, reaching to the, when this transformation happened, really I see myself, I was so confident, and I have over the 10 years I've really made sure that it has that's where you can really tell the people that whatever you envision for the companies or the place where you work, when it happens, and when these men really help you to make sure that whatever you have you're laid out for the day or the task, it is happening. So there is a lot more to yet to happen. It's very sad, I should say, that coming from the retail and fashion world, still there is so much to happen. But I think that there are women leaders, like, across the world, where we should be really taking up this at every stage from the grassroots. Make sure that, like, when we are given the task, accept the challenges, move forward, train the women across around your circle. Make sure that they are the messengers, train them, send them to the courses, do the latest, like, give her the I think if you give her the wings, she will fly. So please make sure that she is when at the end of the day, when when you see women across also in different fields taking up and doing their best, I think that's where the transformation really happens. And not taking much time of yours, I guess, please every day, or go for every day is a learning experience. Go for it, learn yourself, make yourself so confident, and when you go and perform, then I should that is the best thing happening to a lady. So when you are given the chance, when you have that, like, people have believed in you, you take that leadership, and take it and spread it across the women around you, to make sure that she is performing, she's doing the best. That's what I have for today, Achla, and the members.
Thank you so much, Padmajatji. That really was great.
Thank
Commendable, I should say. As I myself come from a fashion world, I can really mark this as my words. To be honest, that when I started my fashion world, I went into the depth of it, and then after the 3 years of my fashion world, I went into the Women's Association. Today I'm the president of Women's Association over here in Sydney. Hopefully, I would also start my women's chamber with WICCI NRI Council here in Sydney very soon as well. So I can say and I can relate to whatever you have shared right away with us. So that
That's
was
my own
great.
experience where like I didn't want to talk about anything, but please, we are the change makers. We see every day, we see different roles. When I see women around me doing so much of things to the world and to themselves to make themselves better and better, it is, I thought, like, let me talk about and share this my personal experience and motivate or inspire you, ladies, and get motivated. That's what I wanted to attend and see what I'm looking forward to other women. Yeah, to listen to
Thank you
them.
so much, Padmajaji. Really
Thank you.
commendable.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's keep our ball rolling and hi and welcome, Sushmita. We missed you and now we all can see you. So, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shireen. Thank you. And good evening, Achla, Anar, and everybody who's there today. I'm so happy to be here talking about digital theme of the International Women's Day. Let me share my presentation with all of you. Just let me know when you can see it. Can you see it now?
No, we can't see
No,
it
no.
now.
No, we can't see.
Um,
Okay, just a moment. Can you see it now?
No.
1 minute. Yes.
Is it
Yes.
coming up? Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Okay, so as we know that the theme for International Women's Day 2023 by UN is DigitALL, which is innovation and technology for gender equality. And UN has got these 5 pillars which they want to target with this theme, which is remove all barriers to the digital world for women, educate and train women and girls in STEM, enable women to create technology that meets their needs, eliminate online gender biased violence, create an equal and digital feature. Now, when we talk about technology and women today, it's very important for us to, be aware and be knowledgeable about the contributions of women made in history, in the history of technology. I would like to go back into history and, you know, take you through that. I'm sure most of us are aware, but let's go through this and honor these women and their contributions. Women and Technology, The Secret History. It is an article which came out with the New York Times Magazine. And it talked about, it's a very, very interesting article. And I think if, in case, you have not read it, we should find time to go through it. It's a very interesting case of, which focuses on telling a story from almost back in 1940s to current situation in the world today about women in technology and the relationship. Computer programming once had much more and much better gender balances in the 1940s than what it is today. So what went wrong? So we need to, understand the rise, the fall, and the rise of women in coding is a story which is worth our time to really go through. Let me take you through these pioneers who were there in history. In 1883, Lady Ada Lovelace, in collaboration with Charles Babbage, she was the first woman to do coding. However, unfortunately, she lost her life at the age of 36 years because she was going through some health issues, and her unfortunately her coding was never executed. In 1940s, between 1940 to 1945, women operated the first computational machines used for code breaking in Bletchley Park in Britain, popularly called the Bletchley Circle. In 1946, in ENIAC, we all know ENIAC was the first programmable personal computer, which came out in 1946, had a all-women's team of coders. In 1946 to 1947, Betty Snyder from ENIAC, she was the first to develop a debugging program which debugged all the problems that were coming with the programming of that ENIAC machine. In 1952, Grace Hopper creates a compiler and a code language called COBOL. We all know COBOL is a computer language, is one of the first initial computer languages, which was very close to English. Erling Lee from Canada became the first woman of color to code professionally. In 1965, Mary Wakis from Link was the first woman to own a personal computer. The Cosmopolitan magazine in 1967, they published an article about the computer girls. So when digital computers finally became a practical reality in the 1940s, women were surely pioneers in writing the software for the machines. At the time, what were the men doing? The men in the computing industry regarded writing code as a secondary, less interesting task. The real glory for them lay in making the hardware. Let's look at Ellie Schlutt. Have you heard of her? She was an American computer programmer born in 1928. You would be surprised to know that she founded the Computations Incorporated in 1958, a consulting firm that produced the code for corporations. How did she do it? And why did she do it? She was basically working as a programming coder. She got pregnant and she was not given uh, permitted to work from home, and neither was she allowed to work. So she stayed back at home and formed this consultancy firm. She hired stay-at-home mothers as part-time employers, and even if they didn't know the coding, she would train them. They cared for their kids during the daytime, and coded in the night by renting time on local computers. Ellie Schlutt, the first woman to start a software business when Bill Gates and Steve Jobs were only 3 years. So why haven't we heard about her? Let's look at the four pioneers of the ENIAC. When ENIAC was launched, the electronic numerical integrator and computer in 1940, funded by the military, it was a behemoth, huge machine weighing more than 30 tons and including 17,468 vacuum tubes. Mainly getting it to work was seen as heroic, manly engineering feat. So when the time came to hire technicians to write instructions for the ENIAC, it made sense to the men in charge to pick an all-female team. So Kathleen McNulty, Jean Jennings, Bethany Snyder, Marlene Westcott, Frances Ballas, and Ruth Leishman were in the team to program the machine. The men would figure out what they wanted to do with the ENIAC, while the woman programmed it to execute the instructions. Mary Ellen Wilkes. She joined MIT in 1959. She initially wanted to pursue law. However, she happened to move into computer programming, and after getting into MIT, she quickly became a programming whiz. She first worked on the IBM 704, which required her to write in an abstruse assembly language. In late 1964, after Wilkes returned from traveling around the world for a year, she was asked to finish writing for the Lynx operating system, which was the earliest operating systems. Since the lab had already relocated to St. Louis by then, she refused to move there. So instead, the Link was shipped to her parents' house in Baltimore. If you see her at the machine sitting with it, looming in the front of her hall room, foot of stairs, a tall cabinet of varying magnetic tapes across the refrigerator-sized box full of circuitry, it was an early glimpse of a sci-fi future. Wilkes was one of the first people on the planet to have a personal computer in her home. Isn't that surprising? Women and technology. So what went wrong? During World War II and well after, women were the tech workforce while men were on the battlefield and in factories. But in the 80s, when personal computers were launched, they were advertised as boys' toys. And popular culture and movies like Tron featured male heroes perpetuating this stereotype. The narrative was being built. This led to a digital divide and massive decrease in women studying computer sciences. If we really want to pinpoint the uh, time period as to which moment when women were really beginning to be forced out of programming, we can look at a year 1984. So let's look at this rise and fall of women in coding. Between 1940 to 1960, almost all coders were women. In 1960, 1 in 4 programmers were women. 1990, women in computing were at 35% only. The proportion had fallen to 26% by 2013. By 2021, the proportion was down to 14%. So it had really, really gone down. Look, if you really look past our history. However, things are not were picking up, say from around 2015 onwards. In 2015, Vet Wimpey, she was an young entrepreneur from Rwanda, Africa, noticed the inconvenience that people faced while shopping at multiple markets. To address this issue, she developed Murukali in 2015, a simplified online shopping platform that saved time and money. With startup costs as little as USD 1,155, she managed to launch the platform that is transforming the shopping experience in Rwanda today. Taking advantage of that inspiration, Biram Sok, an entrepreneur from Senegal, she founded Quelly, an online B2B wholesale sourcing marketplace for products made in Africa. The online platform gives buyers around the world access to quality and unique products made in Africa that meet international standards. There are many stories like this which started coming up during this period globally of women coming forward in technology. After 35 years of decline, it was refreshing to see that on a spring weekend in 2017, more than 700 coders and designers were given 24 hours to dream up and create a new product at a hackathon in New York, hosted by TechCrunch, a news site devoted to technology and Silicon Valley. Of course, surprise, surprise, the winning team was a trio of high school girls from New Jersey: Shamya Patapati, Akshay Dinesh, and Amalya Balakrishnan. In just 24 hours, working almost non-stop from the day before, they created Revive, a virtual reality app that tests children for signs of ADHD. The students were handed their winnings on stage, a trophy size check of $5,000. Amazing. What's the challenge today? The UTI posted in statistics in 2020 percentage of female and male population using the internet. Globally, female were at 57%, male were at 62%. There's still a gap. If you look at country-wise stats, everywhere other than the US, women are far behind than their male counterparts in terms of using internet. The biggest challenge women in tech face today is a lack of role models, mentors, and peer groups. Prejudice is another challenge that women in tech must overcome. Studies indicate that despite having equivalent degrees, males are likelier to get promoted. Today, women have equal skills and commitment, but are still underrepresented in tech leaderships. They view the sector as a male dominated, making them wary of entering it. It is time we broke this cycle of exclusion. How do we unlock, then, the woman's potential in the digital economy? Well, digital entrepreneurship can be a powerful avenue for women's inclusion in the digital economy today. To understand how to increase women's participation in e commerce and digital economy and reduce the digital gender divide, we first need to understand the specific needs and constraints that women faces as entrepreneurs today, as well as the enabling factors that can further support the growth of women-led digital businesses. So we have to bridge the gap, we have to champion women causes, and then there are ways forward. Let me cover them briefly. As we just saw that 57% globally of women use the internet compared to 62% of men, Access to a reliable and affordable internet connection is the bedrock of the digital economy, which we all agree. While the gender gap in the internet users has shrunk globally for sure, it still remains significant in many developing countries. Even today, as per UNESCO, only 35% of STEM, which is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics stream, students in higher education globally are women. For many entrepreneurs in developing countries, it is basic digital literacy that is most needed to engage in the digital economy. This encompasses skills that enable the direct use of technologies, such as good comprehension of emerging technologies and their applications, as well as knowledge of digital privacy and security, which is most important for women's security, or championing women's causes. Unless we have more women in leadership roles, only women will keep defining how we communicate, how we work, educate, run businesses, provide healthcare, and educate. Bringing the voices of women who are active players in digital economy to the policy making table is absolutely essential. They can help us design relevant and effective policies to address specific obstacles that women face today. By raising the profile of successful female business leaders and providing demand driven capacity building support, can we fight deeply rooted stereotypes that hold women back but also help them to address binding constraints? So, what's the way forward? Closing the divide is a prerequisite to unlocking women's potential in the digital economy. Governments must take steps to improve digital connectivity and ensure that access to affordable internet is considered a citizen's right, not a luxury. Where I see as of today, I think the current government in India is doing immensely to in this initiative today. Enabling women entrepreneurs in developing countries to partake in the digital economy calls for a multifaceted approach, necessitating collaboration among governments, businesses, and even the civil society. By investing in women's participation in the digital economy, we can create a more inclusive and equitable global economy that benefits everyone. I would like to close my state today by citing Seema Bahu's UN Women Executive Director's statement, defiant and steadfast for full equality in the digital world we stand. Our vision of equality, of what our world could be for all of us, can and will include the equal enjoyment of the fruits of technology and innovation without fear of violence and abuse of any sort. Women and girls must be able to engage, create, learn, and work safely, productively, either online or offline, making most of the opportunities in every sphere of life and at every stage of it, in education, in the economy, in society, and in politics. Happy Women's International Day belated. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Sushmita. That was so great. To be honest, I was unaware of all that what you have actually shown us today, and it really means a lot of knowledge taking forward. And if someone asked me someday, I would really be able to tell them that yes, that's what I have learned from today. So that was great and commendable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shireen. Thank you, everyone.
Let's keep rolling. And I would next like to invite on stage Shefali Garg. She is basically a mother. She's from Dubai. She's also into medical field. She is basically with the local government authorities and she works with the Association for Chemists and Distributors. So without basically wasting too much of time and going around, let's call upon Shifali. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Shireen. Thank you, Ms. Achla, and happy Women's Day, Women's Week to all the wonderful women over here and around the world. So we must say a girl child is born, a born leader, and they're a born woman. So Women's are there all around. So let's start with this with the beautiful quote. The future isn't a place that we are going to go, it's a place that you get to create. This is stated by a woman leader by Nancy Dorrit. If we see, yes, that uncountable number of women in the world have proved this statement. The current, unimaginably dynamic and digital world requires a new approach of leadership, isn't it? And in this new era of exponentially increasing enthusiasm, flexibility, risk taking, and other inspirational abilities, we harness the power to drive innovation forward. But why women leadership? She is a leader immersed with her. She is the pivot for the running of the family. She is the uniter, the leader, the maintainer, and the global winner. I hope everyone agrees the same. She holds the personal and professional skills that are needed to succeed in surrounding. She has immersed in her that want to succeed and hold the willingness to invest in an innovation. That's what we see in our women leaders here as well. In elaboration, the crucial element of digital leadership is an entrepreneurial spirit and a high level of customer centricity across all channels. The leader needs to make sure that it's not something which is imposed top down and that everyone has an active role to play. Understand their role in the development of the company and its digitalization process. Digital era requires people to be agile, inclusive and responsible. And women, we all must agree that these qualities with constant application in their day-to-day life. It is their mindset and smart work that blossom a cascade of miracles that showers upon our past, present, and future. It is important not only business women to lead the game, but also for every aspiring woman to continue rolling the ball of development in the world, which not many realize, and that many is more than 50% of women in the world. Every she needs to understand a famous proverb that we all know, that educating a man educates many, but an individual at a time. But the story of educating a woman is different at all, as then the whole family is educated. So imagine the competency that we women united have to revertebrate progress and positivity around the globe through our empowerment and use of digitalization. It makes a difference not only to me, but a plethora of the world to show that tell the tales of the extremely valuable contributions of women in the world. With that, I thank you all for listening and wishing everyone a happy and blessed International Women's Day. Thank you.
That was great, Shefali. Now, Shefali, when you were actually telling us all this, I was actually resonating a tune which I actually shared with most of you, I believe, with Achilaji as well, and with Shweta as well on my last webinar. I was just thinking of that. And I was like, if a boy and a girl gets born with their fist closed, and if they both are going to support the family, then why is this equality not given to both on the same way? So that's what was just resonating again onto my ears. So thank you for getting me refreshed with my memories from my last webinar. So really commendable.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Let's get going and let's welcome Shalini ji, our educator, our Toastmaster, and a writer. Shalini ji, the stage is all yours and we want to hear more from you today.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the
Thank you,
show.
Surinji. Good evening, one and all present here. I am Shalini from Doha. First, I wish all of you a very happy Women's Day. It is my pleasure to share this platform with you with the strong women around the globe today. Today, I shall speak on the topic Women in Digital World and why we need more women in leadership position. First, I must say, Sushmita ji, Shefali, and everyone, mostly points you covered today, and nothing to speak much, but still, I will now continue my speech. If I ask all of you one question, can you imagine a day without technology? I think everyone will say no, because our life depends on the strong technological integration. If we want to call someone, we want to send one message, or want to do some course, or want to as a simple bank transaction, or book a hotel, or take a medical appointment, everything currently goes through a digital process. Without the basic digital skills or the knowledge, or I must say the resources, it is very difficult someone to do all these things. World is changing and women are doing well in all areas, but still some areas we have to work more, and we need more, as Sushmita ji said, we need more role model in digital world. Do you know that only 50% women in Asia and the Pacific have digital access? Cut off from opportunity to move any digital needles forward. Supporting them to start and grow business through technology will lead to more sustainable and the inclusive economic growth. If we pair the untapped potential of women and the girls to contribute to our common future, together with the potential of the innovation of the digitalization, science, technology, we may well have cracked the code to rectifying many of inequalities and the injustice created by the generation past. New technology and the innovation are reshaping our world and its future, yet women and the girls continue to be left behind in the digital universe. My question is, how can we utilize these developments to create a better future for women? This year, our theme is DigitALL, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality, seeks to answer exactly my question. So we know that women are less likely men to use internet or own a smartphone. As I said earlier, only 54 women uh, uh, in Asia or the Pacific have digital access. So, when women and girls are discouraged from studying or the working in science, technology, engineering, and math, as Sushmita ji said, also STEM fields, we let them down, and we have left a whole generation of women and girls behind. We need the talent and voices of women and girls brought to the boardrooms and the coding rooms also. Getting more women into career in technology start with the breaking down the gender stereotype that prevent girls from studying all these subjects, especially science, math, as she said also earlier. Comprehensive changes to the way STEM subjects are taught and targeted programs to support girls learning are needed. I read one news in Vietnam. The Ministry of Education and Training has updated the country's national early childhood education curriculum, de-stereotyping women and girls. A- And they included gender-sensitive budget into the education sector plan. Through these changes, government can foster girls into the technology, expanding the future digital world. There are some, as I noticed, there are many myths in the society also about the digital world. As you also heard, I also heard many times. First is the women are not interested in the technology. That is the first myth. Second thing, which I read mostly, you need to know math and the code to have a tech career. Third, I must say, women like to leave the more technical, complex and issue to men. And fourth one is, younger people are the ones with a future in the technology. And the fifth one, motherhood, that I don't know how people say motherhood hurts women's work performance. But we have to break these myths and prove ourselves in the digital world. Now I will talk about the women leadership also. Women entrepreneurs play a key role in the developing country economics also. Supporting them to start and grow business through technology will lead to more sustainable and inclusive economic growth. Women have the historically struggled to access capital, we all know, because they are less aware of the funding option. They are less likely to own land or have large saving and have not been included in the traditional financial network. Technological innovation provide an opportunity to connect women entrepreneurs across the region with new financing models that cater to their particular needs. If we pair the untapped potential of women and girls to contribute to our common future together with the potential of the innovation of the digitalization, science, and technology, we may well have cracked the code to rectifying many of the inequalities and the injustice created by the generation past. Given equal opportunities, women will flourish and contribute to creative solutions to tackle the challenges. uh, UN Secretary General Antonio recently said, "We can do all our part to unleash our world enormous untapped talent, starting with filling classrooms, laboratories, and boardrooms with the women scientists. Indeed, we need women in leadership role in all science and technology space to accelerate inclusive innovation. So today, we all promise to work together towards our dream to achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls in the world. In the conclusion, I want to say two Hindi lines, as I am a writer also. अब बदल के रहेगा जमाना, इन्हें उड़ान भरनी है. अब बदल के रहेगा जमाना, इन्हें उड़ान भरनी है. पहुंचेंगे ये मंजिलों तक, इन्हें बस उड़ान भरनी है. पंख इनके अब खुल चुके हैं, कैसे रोकेगा जमाना. हिम्मत ताकत इन्हें हमसे मिलेगी, इन्हें बस उड़ान भरनी है. Thank you so much for giving me this platform and listening me. Thank you, Achla ji.
Thank you so much, Shalini ji. These words really, really make me remember the 2002 scenario when I was in my inter first year, and Andhra Pradesh Hyderabad government made a rule that ladies who were about more than 50 years of age, who had not completed their SSC and who wished to study forward, were given an exam which was basically called a Kaun Banega Karorpati type exam, where they just had to mark in answers, and that could give them an opportunity to basically go ahead and finish their studies. So at that point of time, I had made about 12 women do that, secure their certification, and move forward with their education. So one among those women today is basically a CEO of a boutique, and she runs her boutique business in Hyderabad. So when I heard about what you were saying, I was recollected into my past, and that particular program is still happening in Andhra Pradesh, where women of that age can basically continue their studies. So I would say thank you so much for giving us the notation of yes, women can do everything. They are meant to go high, and yes, उन्होंने उड़ान भरनी है. अब कोई उन्हें नहीं रोक सकता. Thank you so much. Now let's keep going. And I want to say a lady from Australia, but making her vacation in Leh Ladakh, waiting for us on board with the cold weather in her side. So without waiting more, let me welcome you to the stage, Kirtida. Kirtida is basically a professional, a dedicated community leader since last 12 years in Western Australia. She's born in India, in Ahmedabad, but migrated to Perth, but at the moment enjoying in India. So let's hear back from her about today's topic. Kirtida, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, and happy International Women's Day to all of you. I heard a lot of encouraging and lot of potential topics from all of you. So not much from me, but I just have few points which I want to highlight, because working in a community, I have seen a lot of issues which is facing still in the community. So empowering women is not just a goal. It's a necessity, I believe. Let's celebrate the achievement of women and work toward creating a world where every woman can thrive. The goal of International Women's Day is to promote the idea that people of all genders ought to be treated equally, right? Because at this stage, if I can say about health professionals, a lot of doctors are females, but they don't being treated as a similar as a male doctors. Why? Because सोच बदलनी है. जैसे अभी शालिनी जी ने बोला, सोच बदलनी है, and that's what we all need to do. The today's goal were to highlight the many facts of women's existence in the male-dominated environment in order to shape people's perceptions globally and have a positive impact on the entire world. Women's jobs were previously limited to housework only. And I think the previous generation is still believe that woman is only for house-oriented work. And that's what it's been told from the childhood. आई थिंक अभी भी अगर देखा जाए तो इंडिया में लोग बच्चियों को यही सिखाया जाता है कि यू हैव टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज, यू हैव टू लाइक बेटी को डालना है किसी के घर पे. दैट्स नॉट अ टॉपिक एनी मोर. They are the women themselves are so sustainable. They are so talented. So why the say is there? I don't know. So that's why the stereotype about that woman can and cannot be regularly target them, which is why we need a Women's Day. Data indicates that women continue to face discrimination from others and have less access to education than a man. Men are still permitted to make important choices that have impact on women, such as abortion and pay that still beyond person's gender. Furthermore, there is still significant influences that are disregarded. Therefore, we need a day to start discussions and create open agendas on demand attention from all over the world. The goal of gender equality is being approached globally. It's processing in the direction of gender equality. A choice is both necessity and crucial for countries' development. Either that's Australia or India or any other world, any other part of world. Men have historically enjoyed greater privilege in all areas of society. And we must all receive equal rights and opportunities because we all are member of human race. So that must change. The women are no longer reliant on men to meet the financial needs. So this is the point I want to highlight. I know digital literacy is an issue, but the main cause point which I see in day-to-day life in domestic violence or female or female progress is still lot of women are dependent on their husbands or partners or father or brother for their financial needs. Why, if you are as a mother or as a girl or a daughter or any part of the roles you have, if you can handle the whole house by yourself, starting from what you need in the grocery to what you need to go out and what do you wear or to how to socially interact with the people, you can definitely can look after the financial needs for yourself. You should have some control of finance within yourself where you can access to anytime you need. I have seen a lot of females from many parts of the countries which they don't know how to access their finances. That impacts on them, that goes beyond that. The next step is they don't know how to Google something. Why? Because they never been access to any mobile phones. Why? Because they never been asked for it. That's all needs to be changed. If you can't Google something on a mobile phone, the technology has gone so far and beyond. There is a two type of females I can see in the community. One is high achievable. Their goals are very set, and they are going higher and higher. They've been given the advantages. They have got some privilege, and they are so. This is like just one example I can give. It's a G2G summit. We recently had G2G summit from Australia. We had the delegations came to India to showcase the India-Australia, the relationship for the business. Only 13% women were there, entrepreneurs. Why? Because most of the men were leading the show, but the women were doing the back parts of it. These women are either they don't know how to proceed, or they don't have the courage to come at the front. Don't know. But the women entrepreneurs nowadays, they are increasing, but they are still not coming on the platform, on the main platform. So that was so discouraging to see only 13% women presented from Australia to India. Um, and the other thing I wanted to say is International Women's Day. It also gives a chance to appreciate all small and big decisions. It's a day to acknowledge the value of importance of females. Women are no longer reliant on men to meet their financial benefits. That is true in certain parts, but no in the most of the parts. I have seen the lot of females been in Australia for more than 10 years. They don't have any financial control on over there. They don't have even their mobile phones. They're dependent on their husbands for every single thing, which needs to be changed. International Women's Day gives a chance to appreciate all small and big decisions. It's a day to acknowledge the value and importance of women in all spheres of life. I can say every fifth woman experience harassment as children. They have incredibly vulnerable domestic violence, sexual assault. Over 30,000 girls are forced into child marriages every day, and other girls experience female genocides and legal trafficking. Unquestionably, modern women live in a better world than women in the past. That is for sure. But still, there is only, we can say, only 10% women are in the leading roles or leading better life. The other 90%, we can say, if I see in India, I'm in the lay at the moment, and you can see the females doing a lot of domestic work. They have no knowledge about outside. They have complete different world, which they have no idea. If you ask them about um, like time, what is the time? They don't know. They look at the sun and then they say, okay, this must be 2 o'clock at midday, and you match it with your watch, and actually that is true. So their world is completely different than what we actually see day to day. And we like, I come from Australia. It's a completely different world. And you still like, okay, so like you live here, you are managing your life. I can understand, but their life is so small. Their need is so small, and but they live such a bad life. You feel for them. They're happy in their own life, but when you see from the distance, you feel like, okay, their life is not what you wanted the women to live. So leading, उनका leading करने का तो मतलब कोई सवाल ही नहीं आता, but their the quality of life they don't have. They don't even have the pads to use. So these are the little things. I think there are a lot of more questions to be resolved before we go to the high tech of it. So that's all I wanted to highlight on my topic today. On this International Women's Day, let's celebrate all the incredible women in our life, whether they are our mother, wife, or daughter. Let's show our admiration for their accomplishment, dedication to creating a world where women are free for all industries. Thank you very much, WICCI NRI, for giving me the platform, and happy International Women's Day to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kritida. It was great knowing your point of view and also about the place you are and how still uh, there's so much of thing where women still are unknown about what exactly is happening and how they need to come in the front. I actually wanted to share one of the things which I heard a few years back down the line, that a son is a son till he gets his wife, but a daughter is a daughter till the end of her life. So if you all have heard this as well, please raise your hand. And I would say if that is correct, then all the women need to be on the same place as men. We are not going anywhere down the line. We just want to climb up, up, and up. That's what I would say, hearing to what Kirtida just said. So thank you so much, Kirtida, for sharing your knowledge. Let me get back to our Vice President, Mrs. Achla, to take on to the stage.
Thank you, Shrinji. It was truly very heart touching to listen all of you. I just want to share a experience. Maybe a few years back, when I was in Dubai, when leading business forum, they offered me a leading role. So I accepted that role. The very next day, they introduced me to their WhatsApp group. You know, every forum has their team WhatsApp group, like we have, and every other forum has. So the team member, they don't know that heading the position, he or a she. So as soon as they entered my number in the WhatsApp group, and as soon as I came in the WhatsApp group, the very next second, I got a 15 message in WhatsApp group, same WhatsApp group. Good evening, sir. Welcome, sir. Congratulations, sir. So I was a bit shocked. Why, sir? Nobody knows I am a he or I am a she. But the perception was there that it must be a sir only, not a ma'am. So I think I didn't feel bad, but it's really, something has broken inside me, that why, sir? It could be a ma'am also. So why they want to only say welcome, sir? Why not welcome, ma'am, or welcome, ma'am, or sir, or then anything, or just welcome? Let's just wait. It could be a lady also. So, that kind of perception we have to change, and nobody else can do. We ourselves can only do. It just we have to come out of the comfort zone. We are here connecting to all the wonderful ladies from all across the globe, Nigeria, Mexico, and everywhere. And how we are connecting through digitalization. Digitalization. That's what I learned 2 years back. Before that, I also don't know what is the StreamYard application. I don't know what is Zoom, and that's fair fact. But now I know how to operate the StreamYard. I know how to operate other things. So that's I learned by coming out of my own comfort zone. So that's my story. And if I continue, I think the session will end at 8:30. So let me just quickly thank you to all my dear sister for accepting the invitation in first chance. And it was truly heart touching listening all of you. Shireenji, you hosted this show in a very power packed event and with full of energy. You yourself is inspiration for many women. Thank you for being a part of WICCI NRI Council from more than last 3 years and helping me out each and every day.
Thank you so
Anita,
much, Achla ji, for giving me this opportunity to be a part of
seriously,
you all.
every event there are a few names and I can totally rely on them. The Shweta ji and the Shireen ji, like I can actually close my eyes and rely on them. So thank you so much. Later on, Anita, your speech was truly inspiration, and I'm sure you have inspired many women today also. You have mentioned the concept of digitalization in details by including the example from your personal experience of energy sector, and I truly enjoyed it. I think someone unmuted. I got background noise. Okay, let me just move it. Yeah. So thank you for accepting invitation. Shweta ji, who's connected here from Nigeria, your presentation has made few very great point on women's life. So I was truly touched with that girl example you have taught. So thank you so much. And Padmaja ji from Singapore, you are already a self-made woman. And I think you're sharing your own point of view from your own example in sustainable fashion. It's really nice. And I have learned a lot from you today. Thank you, Padmada ji, for accepting invitation and coming to our platform. Sushmita ji, you are already doing a great job in Dubai and more than 15 years. I really applaud. And it's good to know about your opinion on today's topic. It was truly a wonderful and elaborated presentation. Thank you, Sushmita ji. Shifali ji and Shalini ji, I know both of you apart from WICCI NRI Council also. So you both are my kind of family member. And apart from
Yes.
this, you both are doing a wonderful job for society also. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Achala. We are always very, very, especially me. I'm very, I'm always looking at you, and I really appreciate what you're doing for women and the kind of initiatives that you take every now and then. Kudos to you to keep up with all your personal front. I know that few months back when we were meeting in the previous summit, you were not even
Yes.
keeping well, but you were still on the virtual meet. And kudos to everybody on the meeting today. It was lovely. And Shireen, I think I missed meeting you when you traveled to Dubai. That was very unfortunate. And I hope we meet up again, get an opportunity to meet you again when you visit Dubai again. And
Sure,
all the
I
best to
would.
everybody.
Normally, we come every fourth month or every fifth month because my brother runs his business in Portugal and has his meetings in Dubai very often. So I would
Oh,
meet you very
perfect.
soon.
That's really good then to know. Then we can have an opportunity to meet again.
Sure, certainly.
Thank you, Sushmita. Preetida, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much,
Thank you,
dear,
everybody.
for sharing your thoughts again. And now that's all from my side. I request Shrinji to please take forward and so that we can listen Anarji's audio video message.
All good from my side. Let's go ahead and hear to what Anarji has to say on today's day.
For International Women's Day and beyond, let's all fully embrace equity. Equity isn't just about a nice to have, it's must have. A focus on gender equity needs to be a part of every society's DNA, and it's critical to understand the difference between equity and equality. The aim of the IWD 203 is Embrace Equity. The campaign theme is to get the world talking about why equal opportunities aren't enough. People start from different places, so true inclusion and belonging require equitable action. We can all truly embrace equity. It's not just something we say, it's not just something we write about, it's something we need to think about, know, value and embrace. It's what we believe in unconditionally. Equity means creating an inclusive world. And a sense of belonging feel right. When we embrace equity, we embrace diversity and we embrace inclusion. We embrace equity to forge harmony and unity and to help drive success for all. Equality is the goal and equity is
I guess there's some technical issue
Yeah.
on the video.
No issue, Shrinji. Okay, we can close the session. Yeah.
Okay, to wrap up today's session, I would once again like to congratulate all our sisters for their contribution towards society. I would also like to thank our NRI Council President, Ms. Anar Mehta, and our Vice President, Achula Ji, for leading the idea for this event and constant support. I would also like to thank Srishti Bharat and Sustainable Future Foundation for supporting the event. I would also like to say special thanks to our technical team, our creative team, and our secretarial team who managed several aspects of this event. Last but not the least, I would like to say a big thank you to all the beautiful and energetic council members for your commitment and your passion and the very lovely audience. Without you, this show wouldn't have been possible. One last thing from me. I understand that I have missed on a lot of your introductions, but I would say just one thing. Introduction doesn't mean anything. You all are great in whatever you guys are doing. Power pack thing, you all made us so proud today. And I can tell you that whenever, wherever, whatever audience is listening to this today, they are going to make a difference. They are going to fly in the air. So thank you so much for being here today. Closing out for today.
Thank you.
Bye, and we'll see you all once again in another webinar very soon.
For sure. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.